This is Veggies. I'm the tank of Virtual Murky Slayers. We just played our Div finals against Wholesome Halfwits, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about tank positioning and generally the goals of playing a tank, because I thought there was some good tank play on both sides, and it's something that seems to be a common struggle or question in our division. So I'm just showcasing what I thought were a couple of examples. So for example, in this game, I'm the main tank because I'm Arthas. And generally what I want to do in many of these engagements is not necessarily go in, but instead I want to be, when like facing off, I want to be like here, and I want my backline to be here. Basically like 2 to 3 character miles behind me, unless unless we're going in, because as you can see from our comp, we don't have a super divey comp. Also, I have a shield with Zarya, and Tyrande is also very good at giving out heals in a quick little burst. She also has a good cleanse. And so it's a lot easier for me to step up even into this Tychus and then later the Li Ming, when normally I would be playing a bit more conservatively. So my job is to position in such a way that I am essentially making these people afraid of walking too far forward. If they do, and I hit a W, which is my freeze route, then potentially they die, depending on how good the follow-up is. What this also does is allow a Brewer 2 on Zarya to get the maximum benefit from both his shields. He can shield me to tank Tychus damage or Li Ming damage, and obviously any orbs that go toward the backline, he can also tank, and he does quite often in this match. And the higher energy is, the more these people have to be concerned, and the better push potential we have. Of note, Dr. Sigelli on Halfwits is on Nubarak. They're also on a solo tank plan, as the Varian spoiler will go Colossus Smash. And so what happens is then Dr. Sigelli gets to play the fun role of both wanting to be the main engage for the team and also the only one really capable of peels with the double CC. What this also means is that if Dr. Sigelli E's in, his team has to go in with him, or he will die. Maybe not instantly against this kind of comp, but against similar comps. If you E in and then eat a CC chain, usually with a Nubrak, especially early on, you will explode. Something to be aware of, because if you look at the relative life totals, I have 2,900, he has 2,100. It's quite good. So his positioning is also going to be more aggressive because he wants those flanks. He wants good positions where he can E in and surprise people and get multiple stuns. And if you notice in that little one, he flanks here, he sees an opening, he goes in on me. It was only due to Tyrande's healing. Brisket was aware and got on me. And that's the only reason I live, despite the Tychus jamming a lot of damage onto me. Of note, though, it should be, so let's back up for one moment. So like I was saying, look at Dr. Sigelli's life total right here. And then look at how quickly it drops. Look at me. I'm super low on life, but look at Dr. Sigelli in just a moment. So again, CC chain, only a few autos, a little bit of Zarya burn, and he lost about 550 health in that exchange. If we had been more focused, or say the Hanzo, like Mr. E-Bag here, was also shooting him, he would be about 1,000. Like, that's what I mean by if you engage with a Nubarak, you have to look for those kind of picks, but only if you engage with your E. And I would highly recommend any Nubarak player, if you can, look for engages where you can walk forward and start with Q, or force a positioning, or rather repositioning from the backline just by walking up. It's not bad to engage with your E, but it's somewhat all in. Obviously until level 20 when you get rewind, but you know, that won't cover the first like 20 minutes of the game, so, you know, something to be aware of. So I back for mana. So I want you to keep, again, I want you to keep an eye on the life total of Dr. Sigelli here. So I can take some amount of free damage because I have a self-heal, and boom, he just blows up. And it didn't even look like he did that much. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, it didn't look like he was too far up. But against this kind of comp, if there's CC, any stepping up into, like, this area, instead of looking for a flank here or here, means that he is in risk of getting blown up. So, again, something you have to be aware of, and something maybe the decker need to be a little more aware of. But, you know, again, with the Nubarak, it's really easy to misjudge. Especially with W, it's really easy to feel like you have more life than you actually do. Personally, I like what he was doing before. I would have tried to take this bush and then look for an engage if Baruchu stepped too far up. You can very easily QE. And again, if your Q misses or it doesn't look good, you don't have to commit if you get that. So that's why I like this bush especially for like a Nubarak and Diablo. It's a very good one to go out of without having to commit your either your charge or your burrow charge. But yeah, I hit him with the root, he gets hit, and even with the unstoppable, he takes enough damage that he just explodes.